All right, future CPAs, let's get real about one of the toughest parts of the LCPA to memorize, labor standards. You can forget about staring at those dense textbooks for hours. This right here, this is your study hack, to actually lock in these rules so they stick.
I bet this looks familiar, right? You're flipping through your RFBT notes, regulatory framework for business transactions, and it just feels like this endless sea of numbers and rules. It's so easy to get overwhelmed. But I promise you, by the time we're done here, you're going to have a super simple framework that makes it all just click.
Okay, so let's start building our mental cheat sheet from the ground up. Think of this as like level 1. Before we get into all the really specific leaves, we have to absolutely master the most basic one, the one that applies to almost everyone, the Service Incentive Leave, or SIL.
So let's break this down. It's super simple. Once an employee has worked for 1 full year, boom, they get 5 days of paid leave. And let's be clear, this is not some nice company perk. It's the law. It's a mandatory standard. Oh, and here's a classic exam trap, so listen up. This applies to part-time workers too. They get the full 5 days. The law doesn't say to prorate it, so don't let a tricky question catch you out on that. Okay, let's just burn this number into your brain. SIL is 5. Say it with me. 5 days. See it, say it, and just lock it in. This number 5 is the foundation for everything else we're about to cover.
Now, this is where so many students get tripped up, so you're going to want to pay close attention. Your SIL is not the same thing as the vacation or sick leave a company might offer you. Those are just company policies or part of a collective bargaining agreement. SIL is the law. And the biggest difference? If you don't use your SIL, the company has to pay you for it in cash. That's what commutable means. A company can have a use it or lose it policy for their own VL/SL benefits, but they can't do that with SIL. It's a guaranteed benefit.
All right, here's a pro study hack for you. It's called chunking. Instead of trying to memorize just a random list of facts, we're going to group related leaves into buckets. Trust me, this makes pulling the info out of your brain during the exam so much easier. So, our first bucket is all about family. Family first leaves.
First up in our family bucket, paternity leave. Now, the exam absolutely loves to test you on the little details here, so listen close. This is only for married men who are living with their legitimate spouse. And here's the kicker. It only applies to the first 4 deliveries. Every single one of those words I just stressed, that's a potential trick question right there.
And there's our next number for the mental map, 7. Paternity leave is 7 days. So we've got 5 for SIL and now 7 for paternity. See, we're just building it up piece by piece.
Next up in the family first bucket is the solo parent leave. Notice a few key differences here. The service requirement is shorter. Only 6 months of work is needed. But here's the really important detail. This leave is not cumulative. That means it's a use it or lose it deal within that year.
And look at that. There's our number again, 7. 7 days for paternity leave and 7 days for solo parent leave. By chunking them together under our family first bucket, you can easily tie the number 7 to this whole category. See how that works? It's way easier than just remembering a random list of numbers.
Okay, time for our next mental bucket, health and safety leaves. These are really important protections that the law provides for employees who are facing some very specific and, really serious personal situations.
First in this category is the VAWC Leave. This is for victims of violence against women and their children. It gives them up to 10 paid days off to handle really essential things like medical appointments and legal matters. The purpose here is super specific, and just like the solo parent leave, it's also non-cumulative and you can't convert it to cash.
So we've got a new number for our new category, 10. 10 days. So let's recap the map. 5 for SIL, 7 for our family leaves, and now 10 for VAWC leave. You're building that mental framework right now.
Next up in our health and safety bucket is the special leave for women. Now, this one is a big one. 2 full months of paid leave, and it's for a very specific reason. Recovering from surgery for gynecological disorders. Just make a mental note of the service requirement. You need at least 6 continuous months of service within the last year to qualify. Yeah, this one isn't just a few days off. We're talking about a significant amount of time. 2 months. This is by far the longest leave we've talked about, and it's tied directly to recovering from a major surgery. It really stands out from the others, which should make it easier to remember.
Okay, awesome. We've totally nailed the leaves. Now let's switch gears to another super critical labor standard that is pretty much guaranteed to show up on the exam, the 13th month pay. This is that mandatory year-end bonus that everybody talks about. The most important thing to remember here is that this applies to all rank-and-file employees. The formula couldn't be easier. It's simply 1/12 of your total basic salary for the whole year. And that deadline is absolute. It has to be paid out by December 24th, no excuses. And remember, stuff like a company's rice allowance or other non-cash benefits, they don't count. It has to be that cash payment.
All right, this is it. This is the moment you've been waiting for. We broke it all down. We put it into buckets. And now we're putting everything together on one single screen. Go ahead, get your phone ready to screenshot this. This is your high-yield cheat sheet for the LECPA.
Let's just walk through this one last time, nice and slow. Service incentive leave, 5 days after 1 year of service. Paternity leave, 7 days for married guys, first 4 deliveries. Solo parent leave, 7 days after 6 months of service. VAWC leave, 10 days for victims who need to handle legal or medical stuff. Special leave for women, a full 2 months to recover from gynecological surgery. And finally, 13th month pay, 1/12 of your basic salary, paid out by December 24th. That's it. This one slide is your key.
So there you have it. You've got the framework now to totally ace this section on the exam. But let's think a little bigger for a second. As a future CPA, you're not just going to be crunching numbers, right? You're going to be in a position to advise businesses, to help make sure employees are actually being treated fairly. So this isn't just about passing a test. It's about really understanding the rules that protect people, and that's a huge responsibility. So how are you going to apply this knowledge in your career?